Good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a moment to reflect on what kindness truly means in our lives. We often hear that kindness is a virtue, something to strive for and embody. But today I invite you to challenge that notion. What if I told you that sometimes we need to stop being kind? Now, before you gasp, let me explain. In a world that constantly asks us to give, to please, and to put others before ourselves, we can sometimes lose sight of our own needs. Kindness, while admirable, can become a double-edged sword. It's essential, but it shouldn't come at the expense of our well-being. So let's explore this idea together. When we always prioritize kindness, we may inadvertently neglect our own emotions and desires. We become so focused on making others feel good that we forget that we too deserve to feel valued and appreciated. It's time to acknowledge that it's okay to be selfish sometimes, to put ourselves first, to set boundaries, and to say no when necessary. Think about it. When we constantly say yes to others, we can drain our own energy. We may find ourselves exhausted, resentful, and overwhelmed. This is not the kind of kindness that brings true happiness or fulfillment. Instead, let's strive for authenticity in our interactions. Being honest about our feelings, even if it means disappointing someone, can lead to deeper, more genuine relationships. Moreover, by stopping ourselves from being overly kind, we allow space for true compassion. Compassion is kindness with boundaries. It's about recognizing the struggles of others while also honoring our own needs. It's about being present for someone without losing ourselves in the process. As we embark on this journey of self-reflection, let's remember that kindness is a beautiful gift, but it should never be a burden. We can practice kindness, but we must also practice self-love and self-care. After all, you cannot pour from an empty cup. So let's embrace the idea of intentional kindness that nourishes both us and others. It's not about being unkind, it's about understanding the balance. By taking care of ourselves, we empower ourselves to truly be there for others when it counts. Today, I encourage you to ask yourself, where can I draw the line? Where can I honor my own feelings while still being a source of support for others? Let's stop being kind out of obligation and start being kind out of a place of abundance. Remember, you deserve kindness too. You deserve love, respect, and the space to breathe and grow. Let's take a step back, reevaluate our relationships, and create a world where kindness flourishes alongside self-respect. When we talk about kindness, it often carries this warm, glowing connotation like a light shining in the darkness. It's something we all strive for, something we are taught from a young age as a core value. But let's pause for a moment and consider what it means to challenge kindness. What does it mean to hold this idea of kindness up to the light and examine it closely? In our pursuit of being kind, we sometimes forget the delicate balance that exists between kindness to others and kindness to ourselves. We live in a society that often equates being kind with being agreeable or compliant. How many times have we found ourselves saying yes when we really wanted to say no? We wear our kindness like a badge of honor, but in doing so, we can lose touch with our own desires and needs. It's as if we're walking around with a heavy backpack filled with obligations, responsibilities, and expectations, all disguised as kindness. Let's take a moment to unpack this. When we always prioritize kindness, we can easily slip into the role of the caretaker or the people pleaser. We go out of our way to ensure others are comfortable, happy, and satisfied. We believe that our worth is measured by how well we serve those around us, but in this constant giving, where do we find space for our own happiness? Where do we honor our own dreams and aspirations? Challenging kindness means recognizing that it's okay to feel uncomfortable sometimes. It's okay to take a stand for what you believe in, even if it might hurt someone's feelings in the moment. It's okay to express your own needs, desires, and boundaries without feeling guilty. When we challenge kindness, we challenge the notion that it is a one-way street. True kindness is not about sacrificing yourself on the altar of others' needs. It's about mutual respect, understanding, and creating relationships where both parties feel valued. Moreover, when we challenge kindness, we give ourselves permission to be authentic. Authenticity is about showing up as your true self, flaws and all, without the mask of perpetual kindness. It means allowing yourself to experience the full range of human emotions, joy, anger, frustration, and even sadness. By embracing authenticity, we create deeper connections with others. We invite them to show their true selves as well. Let's also consider the idea that kindness can sometimes perpetuate a cycle of codependency. When we consistently put others' needs ahead of our own, we may enable their reliance on us, creating a dynamic where they become accustomed to our unwavering support. This can lead to feelings of resentment and burnout on our part, while they may not learn to stand on their own 2 feet. When we challenge kindness, we take a step back and allow others to grow and navigate their own journeys. Challenging kindness can also be liberating. Imagine a world where you no longer feel the weight of always being the nice one. You can express your true feelings without fear of judgment. You can set boundaries without the nagging guilt that often accompanies it. You can pursue your passions and interests wholeheartedly without constantly checking in to see how others feel about your choices. This doesn't mean we should abandon kindness altogether. It means we must redefine it. Kindness should be an extension of our authentic selves, not a mask we wear to fit in or please others. It should come from a place of abundance, not obligation. When we allow ourselves to challenge kindness, we create the opportunity for growth both within ourselves and in our relationships. So let's embrace this idea of challenging kindness. Let's open the door to honest conversations about our needs and feelings. Let's foster a culture where self-respect and kindness coexist. Because when we challenge kindness, we not only learn to honor ourselves, but we also pave the way for deeper, more meaningful connections with others. It's time to let go of the pressure to be endlessly kind and instead create space for authenticity, compassion, and genuine relationships. When we think about the concept of prioritizing ourselves, it can sometimes feel uncomfortable or even selfish. In a world that often celebrates selflessness and the act of giving to others, taking a step back to focus on ourselves can feel like a radical act. But here's the truth: prioritizing yourself is not an act of selfishness. It's an essential practice for nurturing your well-being and leading a fulfilling life. Imagine a world where you treat yourself with the same care and compassion you offer to those around you. When was the last time you paused and asked yourself what you truly need? We often dedicate so much of our energy to supporting friends, family, and colleagues that we neglect our own desires, dreams, and aspirations. But you have to remember your needs are just as important as anyone else's. When you prioritize yourself, you send a powerful message to yourself and to others: I matter. My feelings and dreams deserve attention. Think about this: how can you pour from an empty cup? When we constantly give without replenishing ourselves, we risk depletion. We may find ourselves exhausted, overwhelmed, and ultimately unable to be there for others in the way we wish to be. Prioritizing yourself means recognizing your limits and understanding that you are not a bottomless well of energy. You have to refuel. You have to refuel. You have to take the time to reflect and reconnect with your own heart and mind. Let's talk about boundaries. Prioritizing yourself involves setting healthy boundaries, which is often a challenging but vital task. Boundaries aren't about building walls, they're about creating a safe space where you can express your needs without guilt or shame. When you set boundaries, you protect your time, energy, and emotional health. It's okay to say no to something that doesn't serve you. It's okay to step back from relationships that drain you. When you do this, you allow yourself to cultivate the relationships and experiences that uplift and inspire you. You might wonder what it looks like to prioritize yourself in daily life. It can be as simple as carving out time for activities that bring you joy, whether that's reading a book, taking a long walk, meditating, or indulging in a hobby you love. It's about allowing yourself the grace to take a break when you need it, to listen to your body, and to honor your feelings. It's about embracing moments of solitude where you can recharge and reflect without the noise of the outside world. Moreover, prioritizing yourself also means investing in your growth and development. This can take the form of pursuing education, learning new skills, or engaging in activities that challenge you and help you grow. When you prioritize your own growth, you not only enhance your life, but also enrich the lives of those around you. You become a more vibrant, dynamic person who brings more to the table in your relationships and community. Let's not forget the role of self-compassion in this journey. It's easy to be hard on ourselves, to criticize our choices, and to compare our lives to others. But when you prioritize yourself, you learn to practice self-love and acceptance. You acknowledge that you are a work in progress, just like everyone else. You celebrate your achievements, no matter how small, and you allow yourself to embrace imperfections. Prioritizing yourself also means recognizing your mental and emotional health. It's about being attuned to your feelings and taking action when you need support. If you're feeling overwhelmed, it's okay to seek help, whether through therapy, talking to a friend, or simply taking time for yourself to unwind and process your thoughts. Remember, you don't have to carry the weight of the world alone. As you begin to prioritize yourself, you'll notice a shift in your life. You'll feel more energized, more grounded, and more present. You'll cultivate a deeper sense of fulfillment and purpose because you are no longer operating on autopilot. You'll be making choices that resonate with your true self rather than simply reacting to the demands of others. So I invite you to embrace this journey of self-prioritization. It's not about shutting others out. It's about including yourself in the circle of love and compassion. It's about honoring your own journey and understanding that you are worthy of the same kindness you offer to the world. You deserve to take up space, to express your needs, and to chase your dreams. As you embark on this path, remember that prioritizing yourself is an ongoing practice. It's a commitment to nurturing your mind, body, and spirit. And it's a promise that you will honor your own needs with the same fervor you dedicate to supporting others. You are worthy of love, respect, and the pursuit of your dreams. So take that step. Prioritize yourself. You will not only transform your own life, but also inspire those around you to do the same. Setting boundaries is one of the most empowering and transformative actions you can take in your life. It's about recognizing that your time, energy, and emotional well-being are precious resources that deserve protection. Boundaries are not about building walls to keep others out. Rather, they are about creating a safe and sacred space where you can thrive and flourish. They are a way of saying, I respect myself and I deserve to be treated with care and consideration. Imagine waking up each day feeling grounded in your choices, confident in your ability to say yes to what truly serves you and no to what doesn't. Setting boundaries allows you to reclaim your power in a world that often tries to pull us in multiple directions. Think of your boundaries as a personal roadmap, guiding you toward what aligns with your values and aspirations. When you establish clear boundaries, you create a framework that helps you navigate relationships and commitments with intention. But let's face it, setting boundaries can be challenging. We live in a culture that often glorifies selflessness, where people are praised for putting others' needs ahead of their own. We fear that if we say no, we might disappoint someone or lose their affection. We worry that we'll be perceived as unkind or difficult. Yet the truth is that by neglecting our own needs, we risk losing ourselves and our well-being. It's crucial to remember that boundaries are not just about what you don't want, they are also about what you do want. They clarify your priorities and help you align your life with your true desires. Consider this: how often do you find yourself agreeing to obligations out of obligation rather than genuine desire? Maybe you attend social events that drain your energy or take on tasks at work that leave you feeling overwhelmed. When you set boundaries, you give yourself permission to step back from these situations. You learn to recognize when your plate is full and to communicate that honestly. It's about valuing your time as much as you value the time of others. As you begin to establish boundaries, it's essential to communicate them clearly and assertively. This doesn't mean you need to be confrontational or aggressive. Rather, it's about expressing your needs with kindness and confidence. You can say, I appreciate the invitation, but I need to prioritize my personal time, or I'm unable to take on that project right now, but I appreciate your understanding. Setting boundaries can feel daunting at first, but the more you practice, the easier it becomes. You might be surprised at how people respond positively when you communicate your needs honestly. When you set boundaries, you're also teaching others how to treat you. You're signaling that you value yourself and that your needs matter. This can inspire those around you to reflect on their own boundaries and encourage healthier dynamics in your relationships. Remember, you're not responsible for how others react. You're only responsible for being true to yourself. As you delve deeper into this practice, you may find that boundaries extend beyond just saying no to others. They also involve saying yes to yourself. This means making time for activities that nourish your soul, whether that's pursuing a hobby, spending time in nature, or simply enjoying moments of stillness. When you prioritize these moments, you'll cultivate a sense of fulfillment and joy that permeates every aspect of your life. Now, let's acknowledge that setting boundaries is a continuous journey. It's not a one-time task that you can check off a list. Your boundaries may shift and evolve as you grow and change. What feels right for you today might look different tomorrow. That's perfectly okay. The key is to remain attuned to your feelings and to regularly assess what you need in different situations. It's also important to be gentle with yourself as you navigate this process. There may be times when you slip back into old patterns, agreeing to things you don't want to do or allowing others to overstep your boundaries. When this happens, don't be too hard on yourself. Acknowledge it, learn from it, and recommit to your boundaries. Remember, setting boundaries is an act of self-love, and like any practice, it requires patience and perseverance. As you embrace the practice of setting boundaries, you'll likely find that you feel more in control of your life, you'll experience a greater sense of peace and clarity, and you'll cultivate deeper connections with those who respect and honor your limits. Your relationships will become more authentic as you engage with others from a place of honesty and mutual respect. Ultimately, setting boundaries is a declaration of your worth. It's an affirmation that you are deserving of love, respect, and space to breathe. When you prioritize your well-being and establish clear boundaries, you create a foundation upon which you can build a life filled with joy, authenticity, and fulfillment. So take that brave step. Embrace the art of setting boundaries. You will not only transform your own life, but you will also inspire those around you to honor themselves and their needs. Because when we all set boundaries, we cultivate a culture of respect, understanding, and love. In our fast-paced world, exhaustion has become a familiar companion for many of us. We often wear our busyness like a badge of honor, boasting about how much we juggle in our daily lives. But let's pause for a moment and ask ourselves, at what cost? When did we start equating exhaustion with productivity? When did we begin to overlook the importance of rest and self-care? Exhaustion is not just physical, it seeps into our emotional and mental well-being as well. It's that feeling of being drained, of waking up tired even after a full night's sleep, of feeling as though you're constantly running on empty. This state of being can lead to a cascade of negative effects, decreased motivation, heightened stress levels, and even a disconnection from the things that bring us joy. When we are exhausted, we are not fully present for ourselves or for the people we love. We may find ourselves irritable, overwhelmed, and unable to fully engage in our lives. So how do we avoid this exhaustion? It begins with a commitment to self-awareness. We must first recognize the signs of exhaustion creeping in, whether that's physical symptoms like headaches and fatigue, or emotional signs such as irritability or a lack of enthusiasm. When we are aware of these signals, we can take proactive steps to address them before they spiral out of control. It's about tuning into our bodies and minds, listening to what they need, and being willing to respond with kindness. One of the most effective ways to avoid exhaustion is to embrace the power of rest. In our hustle culture, we often glorify the grind, celebrating those who push through fatigue in the name of achievement. But let's reframe that narrative. Rest is not a luxury, it's a necessity. It's essential for our physical health, mental clarity, and emotional resilience. When we allow ourselves time to recharge, we are not only taking care of our bodies, but we are also nourishing our spirits. Consider incorporating regular breaks into your day. Whether it's a short walk, a few minutes of meditation, or simply stepping away from your desk, these moments of pause can have a profound impact. They give you the space to breathe, to reflect, and to recalibrate. Think of it like giving your brain a chance to reset. This can lead to greater productivity and creativity when you return to your tasks. Creating boundaries around your time is another critical component in avoiding exhaustion. Many of us fall into the trap of saying yes to every request that comes our way, driven by a desire to be helpful or liked. But by stretching ourselves too thin, we risk becoming overwhelmed. It's perfectly acceptable to turn down invitations or responsibilities that don't align with your priorities or that simply feel too demanding at the moment. Remember, each time you say yes to something, you are simultaneously saying no to your own needs. Finding balance in your life is also essential. This means recognizing that it's okay to take time for yourself, to pursue hobbies and passions that inspire you. It's easy to get caught up in the demands of work, family, and obligations, but carving out time for the activities that bring you joy is crucial for avoiding burnout. Whether it's painting, gardening, or spending time with loved ones, these moments are vital for replenishing your energy. Additionally, don't underestimate the power of community and support. Surrounding yourself with people who understand your struggles and encourage your self-care can be incredibly beneficial. Share your experiences with friends or family and lean on them when you're feeling overwhelmed. Sometimes just talking about what you're going through can lighten the load and provide clarity. Remember, it's okay to ask for help, and doing so doesn't make you weak, it makes you human. In our quest to avoid exhaustion, we must also acknowledge the importance of self-compassion. Too often, we are our own harshest critics, pushing ourselves to meet unrealistic standards. When we feel exhausted, instead of berating ourselves for not being productive, we should practice kindness. Treat yourself as you would a dear friend who is struggling. Encourage yourself to rest, to take breaks, and to honor your feelings. Self-compassion allows you to recognize that it's okay to not have it all together all the time. Lastly, let's talk about the power of mindfulness. In the hustle and bustle of everyday life, we can easily lose touch with the present moment. Practicing mindfulness, whether through meditation, deep breathing exercises, or simply paying attention to your surroundings, can help ground you and reduce feelings of stress. It brings awareness to the here and now, allowing you to find peace amidst chaos. Avoiding exhaustion is not about eliminating all stress from our lives, it's about finding. Cultivate a sense of belonging and experience a profound sense of fulfillment. Compassion is a force that can heal wounds, bridge divides, and create a more just and loving world. So I encourage you to embrace compassion in every facet of your life. Start with yourself, extend it to your loved ones, and let it radiate out into your community and beyond. Be a beacon of light in a world that sometimes feels dark. In a time when kindness can feel scarce, let your heart be a source of warmth and understanding. Together, through the power of compassion, we can create a ripple effect of love that transforms lives and builds a better future for all. Remember, the world needs your compassion now more than ever. Embrace it, live it, and watch as it unfolds into something truly beautiful. Practicing self-love is one of the most important gifts you can give to yourself. It's the foundation upon which everything else in your life is built: your confidence, your relationships, your dreams. Yet, so many of us find it difficult to love ourselves, often confusing self-love with vanity or selfishness. But true self-love is far from that. It's about honoring who you are at your core, embracing your worth, and giving yourself the care, compassion, and respect you deserve. To practice self-love, you first have to understand what it means to truly value yourself. This means recognizing your inherent worth, not because of what you achieve or how others perceive you, but simply because you are deserving of love and kindness, just as you are. The journey to self-love begins with accepting yourself in totality: your strengths, your flaws, your successes, and your mistakes. It means giving yourself permission to be imperfect, to be human, and to understand that your worth is not contingent upon how flawless you appear to the world. When you practice self-love, you shift the way you speak to yourself. Think about the conversations you have in your own mind. How often do you criticize yourself for not being good enough, for falling short, or for making mistakes? We can be our harshest critics, saying things to ourselves that we would never say to someone we love. Self-love invites you to change that internal dialogue. It asks you to replace harsh criticism with gentle encouragement, to speak to yourself with the same kindness you would offer a dear friend. Loving yourself also means giving yourself grace. Life will throw challenges your way, and you won't always handle them perfectly, and that's okay. Self-love is about acknowledging when you're struggling and offering yourself compassion rather than judgment. It's about saying, I'm doing the best I can, and that's enough in moments of difficulty. It's an invitation to hold space for your emotions, allowing yourself to feel without rushing to fix or suppress what's uncomfortable. When you approach yourself with compassion, you create an environment where healing, growth, and self-awareness can flourish. Another essential aspect of self-love is setting boundaries. Part of loving yourself is protecting your peace, your time, and your energy. You cannot give from an empty cup, so you must prioritize your own well-being. This might mean saying no when something doesn't serve you, stepping away from relationships that drain you, or taking time for yourself without feeling guilty. Setting boundaries is a powerful declaration of self-love because it shows that you value yourself enough to preserve what nurtures your soul and refuse what depletes it. Self-love also requires that you honor your body. Your body is the vessel that carries you through life, and it deserves care, respect, and kindness. This doesn't mean striving for perfection or conforming to societal standards of beauty. It's about listening to your body's needs and treating it with tenderness. Whether that means nourishing yourself with good food, moving your body in ways that feel joyful, or simply resting when you need to, self-love invites you to cultivate a relationship with your body based on appreciation rather than criticism. But beyond physical care, self-love is about nourishing your spirit. What brings you joy? What makes you feel alive? What activities, places, or people fill your heart with light? Practicing self-love means prioritizing these things in your life. It means making time for what nourishes you on a soul level, even in the midst of a busy life. Whether it's creating art, spending time in nature, reading a good book, or being with loved ones, these moments of joy are essential to your well-being. Self-love gives you permission to pursue happiness without guilt or apology. As you continue on the journey of self-love, remember that it's not a destination, it's a daily practice. Some days loving yourself will feel easy, and other days it will feel challenging. There will be times when old doubts creep back in, or when you fall into the trap of comparing yourself to others. On those days, remind yourself that self-love is a journey, not a test you have to pass. Be patient with yourself. Each day is a new opportunity to love yourself a little more fully, a little more deeply. Part of this practice is learning to let go of the need for external validation. In a world that often tells us our worth is tied to our accomplishments, our appearance, or how others perceive us, self-love is a radical act of reclaiming your worth from within. It's about understanding that your value does not come from anyone else's approval or praise, it comes from the love and respect you give yourself. When you stop seeking validation outside of yourself, you begin to experience a deeper sense of peace and freedom. To truly practice self-love, you must also forgive yourself. We all carry regrets, mistakes, and moments we wish we could undo. But holding on to these things only weighs you down and keeps you from fully embracing who you are in the present. Self-love asks you to release the past and forgive yourself for what you didn't know, for what you couldn't do. Forgiveness is an act of liberation, freeing you from the burdens of shame and guilt, allowing you to move forward with a lighter heart. Ultimately, practicing self-love is about reclaiming your power. It's about recognizing that you are enough, just as you are, without having to prove your worth to anyone. It's about embracing your journey, your growth, your imperfections, and loving yourself through it all. The more you love yourself, the more you open yourself up to love from others and to the limitless possibilities that life has to offer. So I encourage you to practice self-love fiercely and unapologetically. Wake up every day and choose to honor yourself, your body, your mind, your heart, and your spirit. Let go of the things that no longer serve you and embrace the beauty of who you are. Remember, you are worthy of love, not because of what you do or how you look, but simply because you exist. When you practice self-love, you step into your true power, and from that place, you can create a life that is not only fulfilling, but deeply aligned with the highest version of yourself. Intentional kindness is a choice, a deliberate decision to act with love, empathy, and understanding toward others and ourselves. It's not just a random act, but a conscious way of living that touches everything we do. At its heart, intentional kindness is about recognizing the power we hold to shape the world around us, one interaction, one word, one small gesture at a time. It's about choosing to be a force for good in the world, even in the midst of chaos, challenges, or the noise of everyday life. When we talk about intentional kindness, we're talking about moving through life with purpose, with an awareness of how our actions, no matter how small, impact others. It's easy to think of kindness as something passive, smiling at a stranger or holding the door for someone. But intentional kindness goes deeper. It's about taking a step back and asking ourselves, how can I make this moment better for someone else? How can I uplift, support, or offer love to those around me in a way that truly matters? It's about tuning into the needs of others and responding with care and compassion. The beauty of intentional kindness is that it doesn't require grand gestures. It can be as simple as truly listening when someone is speaking, without distractions or the urge to respond. When you give someone your full attention, you send a powerful message: I see you, I hear you, and I value what you have to say. That kind of connection, even in a brief conversation, can make someone feel seen and appreciated in a way that lingers long after the moment has passed. Intentional kindness is also about stepping into someone else's shoes. What truly matters to you? What are the non-negotiables in your life, the things that no matter what, you will make time for? Is it your health, your relationships, your spiritual growth? Once you are clear on these priorities, you can make conscious decisions that support them. This clarity allows you to align your daily actions with your deeper values, creating a life that feels both purposeful and balanced. Empowerment through balance is also about letting go of the need to do it all. We often feel like we have to be everything to everyone, that we have to handle every responsibility, every task, every demand that comes our way. But true empowerment comes when you recognize that you don't have to carry it all. You can delegate, you can ask for help, you can let go of things that no longer serve you. And in doing so, you free up space for what truly matters. Ultimately, empowerment through balance is about reclaiming your time and energy in a way that honors both your ambitions and your well-being. It's about moving through life with intention, being fully present in each moment and creating a rhythm that sustains you rather than drains you. It's about standing in your power, not by doing more, but by being more aligned with your truth, more connected to your purpose, and more at peace with yourself. When you embrace balance, you step into a life of greater fulfillment, peace, and empowerment. You give yourself permission to live in a way that feels authentic and nourishing. And in doing so, you create the foundation for long-lasting joy and success, not just in one area of your life, but in all of it. This is the power of balance. It doesn't take away from your ability to achieve it, amplifies it by creating a life that is both rich and sustainable. Creating abundance is about shifting your mindset from scarcity to possibility. It's about recognizing that there is enough love, enough opportunity, enough success, enough joy for everyone, including yourself. Abundance is not something you chase or acquire, it's something you cultivate from within. When you live from a place of abundance, you see the world through a different lens. Instead of focusing on what you lack, you focus on what you have. Instead of fearing that there's not enough to go around, you realize that the universe is full of endless possibilities waiting to unfold. To create abundance in your life, you must first believe that you are worthy of it. Too often we hold ourselves back because deep down we don't feel deserving of all the good that life has to offer. We've been conditioned to believe that abundance is for someone else, that we must struggle, sacrifice, or prove ourselves to earn it. But the truth is, you are inherently worthy of abundance simply because you exist. When you claim that worth, when you truly believe that you are deserving of love, success, and fulfillment, you open the door for abundance to flow into your life. Creating abundance begins with gratitude. When you are grateful for what you already have, you attract more of it. Gratitude shifts your focus away from what's missing and allows you to see the blessings in front of you. It's a practice of acknowledging even the smallest gifts in your life, the people who support you, the opportunities that come your way, the simple joys that often go unnoticed. When you cultivate a heart of gratitude, you create a magnetic energy that draws more abundance toward you. Gratitude is the foundation upon which abundance is built. But abundance is not just about material wealth or success. It's about feeling a deep sense of fulfillment in every area of your life. It's about having an abundance of love, peace, creativity, and joy. When you create abundance, you're not just building a life of outward success, you're cultivating an inner richness that sustains you through all of life's ups and downs. This kind of abundance comes from knowing who you are, from being connected to your purpose, and from nurturing the relationships and passions that make life meaningful. A key part of creating abundance is letting go of fear and scarcity thinking. So many of us operate from a mindset of lack. We're afraid there isn't enough time, enough money, enough opportunity. We're afraid that if someone else succeeds, it somehow diminishes our own chances. But abundance doesn't work that way. It's not a zero-sum game. When you shift your mindset to one of abundance, you realize that someone else's success doesn't take away from your own. It actually creates more opportunity for everyone. When one person shines, it lights the way for others. The more you embrace this, the more you free yourself from the fear that holds you back. In your relationships, creating abundance means giving freely of your love, support, and kindness without expecting anything in return. It's about showing up fully for the people in your life, knowing that the more love you give, the more love you will receive. Abundance in relationships is not about keeping score or measuring what you're getting versus what you're giving. It's about trusting that when you pour love into others, the universe will pour love back into you. And this love won't always come from the same people or in the ways you expect, but it will find its way to you. To create abundance in your career or personal pursuits, it's important to approach opportunities with an open heart and mind. Scarcity thinking tells you to hold tight to what you have, to fear that opportunities are limited. But an abundant mindset reminds you that opportunities are infinite. It encourages you to take risks, to explore new paths, and to trust that even if one door closes, another will open. When you operate from abundance, you are not afraid to fail because you understand that failure is just a stepping stone to something greater. You see challenges not as setbacks, but as invitations to grow, learn, and expand. Creating abundance also means aligning your actions with your values and purpose. Abundance is not about chasing external success for the sake of it. It's about doing work that lights you up, that aligns with who you are at your core. When you are in alignment with your purpose, abundance flows more naturally because you are doing what you are meant to do. You are no longer forcing things or struggling to make them happen. Instead, you are in a state of flow where opportunities, resources, and support seem to come to you with greater ease. One of the most powerful ways to create abundance is through generosity. When you give freely, whether it's your time, your resources, or your talents, you affirm that there is enough for everyone. Generosity is a statement of faith in abundance. It says, I trust that by giving, I will not be left with less, but with more. This doesn't mean giving to the point of depletion. It means giving from a place of fullness, knowing that the more you give, the more you create space for abundance to return to you. It's also important to understand that abundance is a mindset, not a destination. It's not something you achieve one day and then you're done. It's a daily practice of tuning into the abundance that already exists in your life and opening yourself up to more. It's about releasing the grip of scarcity thinking whenever it creeps in and reminding yourself that there is enough time, enough resources, enough opportunities for you to live the life you desire. Abundance is not about waiting for the perfect moment or the right set of circumstances. It's about deciding right now that you are already abundant and choosing to live from that place every day. Finally, creating abundance is about staying connected to your vision. What do you truly want for your life? What does abundance look and feel like to you? Once you have a clear vision, you can start taking steps toward it, even if they are small. You begin to align your thoughts, actions, and energy with that vision. When you are clear about your desires, the universe conspires to help you manifest them. But you must remain open, flexible, and willing to receive. Sometimes abundance comes in ways that we don't expect. And the more open you are to these possibilities, the more abundance will flow into your life. In creating abundance, you become a co-creator with the universe. You step into your power as someone who shapes their own reality, someone who understands that abundance is not given to a select few, but is available to all of us. It's about realizing that the universe is generous, that it wants to support you, and that your job is to open yourself up to that support by living in alignment with your highest self, by practicing gratitude, and by trusting that there is more than enough for everyone. Abundance is not just a state of having, it's a state of being, one that you can choose to embody every single day.